Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Prison Architect and my first prison in over 3.5 years. It's been a long time since I last played this game, and I'm very excited to be back with it. I'm gonna be honest with you, the first episode hasn't gone out yet at the time of recording, so I don't know what the feedback's been like, but I'm assuming it's good, so thank you very much for all of that. I'm gonna be an optimist today and assume that the comments in that first episode aren't just, "This is terrible! You should feel bad!" Anyway, we have some work that we need to get done today, and I want to get started with a little bit more planning mode, because we do need to build a medical ward, we need to hire some doctors, we need a psychologist, and so we do have room for another office down here. That is fantastic news, but we don't have room for a medical ward. So what I think we're gonna do is go ahead and plan out a little something like this for a medical ward. We're gonna have another little bit of corridor right here. We can extend this corridor up to let our inmates into the medical ward. And then I think back here, I'm going to build some kind of utilities space, and it's gonna sort of wrap around that corner, not because it needs to, but because I figure it might as well wrap around that corner. Now, in terms of doors, we'll go here, here, and here. We have an entrance to that utility space down here already, but what we can do with this utility space is move our power plant, our water pump, and our water boiler inside, which I have to imagine is going to be better than having it outside. So that's thing number one that I would like to do, and I suppose we should just go ahead and build this. I was gonna hold off on building it right away, but I figure we might as well just get this done as quickly as we can. So we'll go over like this, we'll go and do something a little bit like this, and we'll let my workers just sort of go nuts with this whole thing. We do have the materials coming in, and I think, speaking of workers, let's go ahead and bring our workforce up to 15. It's currently 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4 more of those seems like a fantastic idea. And I guess while we're in here, we have managed to unlock groundskeeping and cleaning. So let's go ahead and hire, I mean, it's 500 to get a gardener, it's 500 for a janitor, it's 50 per day, 2 gardeners and 2 janitors. That way the grass is gonna be nicely kept, the inside of the prison is gonna be nicely cleaned. It's gonna keep the place just a little bit better looking for everybody, which I think is gonna be absolutely fantastic. Now, I did slightly forget about the fact that the way I'm doing this does get rid of some of the existing walls, which is a little bit unfortunate. So we're gonna have to go back in here and just repair a little bit of the damage that I seem to have caused, which I think means that this top wall of the kitchen's gonna go away, this top wall of the staff room is gonna go away, the top wall of this little hallway is gonna go away, which honestly is probably okay, actually. I'm not too worried about that one. And let's be honest, it's also easy enough to fix all of this. We'll just put the walls back where they belong, which is a little bit like that right there. We'll grab ourselves some doors. We'll do a regular door for the entrance to... Actually, no, we'll do a jail door for the entrance to the infirmary. That way prisoners can't just waltz in there when they feel like it. We can do a staff door for this hallway and in there as well. And I think that's about everything we need here, other than this one bit of wall that we seem to be missing up here, which I would like to replace with an actual bit of wall, if they wouldn't mind. It is nice that the water pumping station is already inside. That's fantastic news. The biggest concern that I have is that we need to move our power station, and yeah, that's going to be a whole thing. I think we're going to move it to there. And I think we're going to move our capacitors. I can't move the capacitors. Oh, we're going to be out of power for a little while here while I do all of this. This is going to be a thing. This is definitely going to be a thing. I realize I'm going to have to do this as well. Let me demolish this fence, because that's going to let my workers through to actually move the power plant, which they weren't able to do because the route was blocked. They'll figure it out. There we go. I think they have figured it out. So yeah, that looks ridiculous. Oh my God, I love that. That's great. All right, so the capacitors need to be moved to here. We need to move a capacitor to here, and we need to move the third capacitor to right about there. Now, it turns out, at some point while I wasn't playing this game, they added a capacitor max plus, which essentially is just a capacitor that is twice as expensive and twice as good. That's kind of good, all things considered. I kind of like that. I think that's going to be really, really useful for us. But what I think I'm going to do right now is just reconnect my power, because we don't have any of that right now. I would also like to maybe just dismantle some of the utilities out here that we don't need, such as all of those power cables there. And hopefully it's not going to take too long for them to get power back into the prison, because my inmates are they're not going to be thrilled about this. It's definitely not ideal that we had to do this, but I think doing this sooner than later was probably the right call. There we go. I think, yeah. All right, so power's back. That's good. This room right... Oh, hold on a minute. You have no way to get back in here, do you? Oh, we need to add a little gate up here. Let me just go ahead and do a little staff fence gate right there. Hopefully someone can grab it from storage and just put it into the fence so that this one workman that's stuck out in the woods can get back into... There you go, buddy. That's perfect. We also have people going out to grab whatever they're grabbing. I'm not really too sure what it is, but that's good for them. We'll go into rooms though, and we'll get ourselves an infirmary. I require health for this. I need a hold on, is a medical ward something different? No. Is a ward? No. I think it is an infirmary that I need. So I need to unlock health, which I guess makes sense. So we'll get health. We're going to need more offices here as well. I guess we do have these extra spaces. They're just a bit bigger. For now, let's, I suppose, clear all of my plans, because I don't need those right now. Let me also just copy this office so I can move that over nice and quickly. And I suppose we'll need to hire... We do need a psychiatrist. And I suppose we'll need a psychologist. And then I guess we'll need a... whatever this is, the doctor. Yeah, that's going to be a whole thing. All right. We also need security. That's going to give us deployment, which is really important. Prison policy allows me to increase and decrease punishments for all types of misconduct. Also allows me to control the nutritional policies. There's a lot of things to do, but to be fair, we haven't even given our inmates individual cells yet. So I think what I would like to do with that is actually use the quick build menu, and I want to build some improved cells, because my thinking is this has a TV, it has a shower, it has a toilet and a bed, versus the basic cells, which just have a bed and a toilet. Now we will need to get more piping down here. This is going to be a bit more expensive than just a regular cell, but I think that's okay. And I think we can get away with that. I'm just trying to figure out if I want really narrow corridors in here or if I want some wider corridors in here. And I think what we'll do is go for the narrow option. What I'm also going to do is just immediately place 2 of these. We can go into foundations, into brick foundations, and build a little bit in there so that we're kind of enclosing that little hallway right there. And my thinking for these guys is that while we're quick building them, they are going to be cells, so individual inmate cells. But what I'm going to do is swap these out for dormitories and then get rid of the single bed and put a bunk bed in there. So it'll be a 2-person dormitory with a TV, with a shower, and hopefully that's going to be at least a little bit better than just some regular dormitory for the inmates. And then what we can also probably do is put some radiators in there and then just copy and paste it along a little bit until we have a capacity of 15 prisoners, at which point we get some money from this grant over here on the left, and we can also get the money from the medical ward thing once we happen to... Oh, we have health. Okay, well, that's good, because I have 3 offices over here that I need to fill up. So let me go ahead, I guess, and hire... I do want some farmers as well, but I think what we do is get the psychologist, which will give me an insight into the minds of my prisoners and also my staff. That's kind of important. So our prisoners are feeling a bit bored. We can fix that. It's okay. The psychiatrist is an advanced member of staff who provides our criminally insane inmates with regular consultation. I don't think we need a psychiatrist right now. I think we're fine without that. What I would like to see is what's going on here. So I can now see their needs, right? So I can see we need bathrooms. We also need a staff canteen. Oh, that's something I kind of forgot about, but that makes perfect sense. Right, we're gonna have to do something about that. Let's first go ahead and get ourselves the infirmary, because I feel like we might as well put an infirmary up here. We might want to get our hands on a morgue as well, just so we have somewhere for the bodies to go when when they inevitably start to pile up a little bit. So how big does this have to be? It doesn't really have a required size. I guess what we do is we just build a little something here. I don't think we need too much space for a morgue. I would be shocked if we needed a lot of morgue space this early. So we'll just do something like this for a morgue. We can get rid of that bit of wall at some point. Are these done? No, they're still going. That's totally fine. Yeah, we can put a morgue in there. We can, I guess, sort out the medical beds for this space. Now, these are 500 each. We'll go for one. We'll do two, I think, for now, and we'll make sure to put some lights in here as well, so the space is nice and bright. We'll put a light just up there. We'll put a light here, and I want to see there, again, to make sure that the spaces are just that little bit brighter. They're going to be a little bit dark otherwise. And then with this space built, what I would like to do is some walls just here. I would like to get myself a staff door just here. And if we go into rooms, we can go to search for morgue, which is going to give us enough space in here for what I would imagine will be 6 of the morgue slabs. Now, these are 100 each. That's $600. That should be more than enough for this prison for the time being. I will be genuinely shocked if we need more than that. I'll be also a little bit... Yeah, shocked is a good word. Concerned is another word. There's a lot of words to describe how I would feel if we fill up this morgue anytime soon, but shocked and concerned are definitely 2 of them. Let's now go ahead and hire a couple of doctors. These are going to be 100 per day, 1,000 each on hiring, but that does give us a completed grant, which is fantastic news. It gives us a functional infirmary as well, which is also fantastic news. And down this way, we are getting there with these new cells. Now, my prisoner's being bored. I want to do something about that. So when it comes to a yard, I feel like we can change out the flooring a little bit, and we could do something like I want to do a running track just around the outside of the yard. I think that could be kind of fun. I want to do some paving stones just around the outside of the yard as well. I think that could be kind of a cool idea. And then I think in the middle of the yard, I'm not going to give them something like phones and all of that just yet. I'm not going to give them bleachers. We could give them like a little park bench. That seems nice. That kind of does, actually. Yeah, we'll give them a couple of little park benches there. That seems all right. We could give them like a nice outdoor table as well. We have guard pavilions. We have corner guard pavilions. We have paintings. We have chess tables. Can I put those in the yard? I totally can. I want to say we can do some chess tables. I think those would be nice. I'm going to give them some chairs. I was going to do wooden stools, but I think we'll do some chess tables out here. And then obviously it's a yard, so I want to say weights benches and punching bags and things like that probably aren't the worst idea in the world. We could do a snack machine out here, I think. Is that an option? It absolutely is not. I can put it in the hallways. That's a thing we could do, but I think I might leave that for now as well. I will do some lights, just because we can kind of light up the space a little bit with some solar wall lights. I think that's kind of cool. And yeah, I think we will just do some weights benches in there because that's a thing that we can do. We could do some gym mats in the middle as well, but I think that should be enough to give the prisoners something to do at the very least. That should hopefully stop them from being completely bored out of their minds. Now it looks like these cells are starting to come together, so what I would like to do is tap into my water which I think I'm just going to bring straight down through the middle here. We are going to run a small pipe straight through here and straight through here. I want to get some radiators and put one... Oh, where do I want to put these? So we have a toilet going there. I guess there and there for the radiators should be fine. The hot water pipes are then going to come straight down from... I don't know what spot they need to come down from. I want to say here. And we can have these sort of run below the large pipes. They don't have to. We can have them overlap if we really wanted to, but I think we'll just sort of do it this way, and we'll do a little something like this. And that should give us hot water and cold water for the showers, hot water for the radiators, water for the toilets. That should be absolutely perfect. And then all we need to do is go in here, grab the dormitories room, get rid of the cell and turn that into a dormitory, get rid of this cell and turn that into a dormitory. We want to kick Bolton out of this bed, so we're going to be dismantling both of those beds, and I would like to make that a bit of a priority for my my workers to do and my guards to come over and let them out, because I want to go to objects, I want to get some bunk beds and put a bunk bed there. I want a bunk bed there, and again, I want to prioritize putting those in there, as well as figuring out why the hot water pipes don't seem to be running properly here. What's going on with that? Oh, wait, can hot water only go so far? I mean, that makes sense. It does. It makes perfect sense, but that's a little frustrating. Can this... So I guess I just need multiple hot water heaters. Okay. I wasn't necessarily expecting to need multiple hot water heaters, but sure. What if we built like a little utility space somewhere? We could build like one down here, but that seems kind of far away. We could build one behind this cell, I suppose, and I don't hate that as an idea. I think that's actually kind of cool. So let's just build ourselves a little something here. I was thinking I'd put more cells sort of back to back with these guys. We could still do that, but I think just a little hot water heater in this space. I mean, it's going to be necessary, right? That's essentially what's going on. We kind of need one. I don't have much of a choice. So we'll go to doors. We'll get ourselves a staff door, and it is going to live right about there. I think that'll be fine. And I guess while we're doing that, I should... they're missing their family. Well, they're going to have to wait. Okay, we're not doing visitation yet. We'll get there. It's early days. I've just started playing Prison Architect again. They can wait to see their families. Maybe they should have thought about their families when they were breaking the law. Okay? Maybe they should have thought about that. Okay, that sounds like a whole lot of their problem. Anyway, hopefully this space gets done nice and quickly. We'll go ahead and have a look at our water boiler. Yeah, it'll fit in there nicely. We can bring some water up from this pipe down here or over from this pipe, which should be fine. We'll put this thing here, and then looking at this whole thing, I think I should just be able to... I think I can just run the pipe like this, right? I don't remember what way it connects to this thing. Yeah, we should be able to do that, and that'll be totally fine. And then for water coming into it, I think we just do that, to be totally honest with you. I think that'll be a solid layout for this whole thing. I also forgot about power, naturally. We'll run some power lines over there. We'll run some power lines down here as well. And that should now give us some hot water for these dormitories. We also, if you look at the top here, we do have 4 out of a possible 4 cells. Well, cells, beds, whatever you want to call it, for our inmates, which is just fantastic news. They don't need to use the holding cell anymore. I would, however, like to get another drain. I think putting it under the door there is probably the right choice. I think this drain here we can now dismantle and use in construction for something else. I think one underneath the door will actually stop the place from flooding, which is perfect. This is up and running now, which means that we do have hot water in these cells, which I'm very, very happy about. So I suppose we should try to increase our prison capacity a little bit. So if we go into quick build, we go into custom, we go to clone. Can I just copy all of this? I totally can, which I'm completely here for. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, which apparently I can't do. I guess we have to build these sort of one at a time. or I guess I could just copy this part and do that, which seems pretty solid as far as I'm concerned. So that's going to give us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We need 15. So actually, let's just do another little set here. So that's 4, 8, 12. Yeah, this will be more than enough. So that's going to let us bring in a really good number of prisoners. That's going to give them relatively comfortable dormitories, which is exactly what we want to do. We're going to be pulling up a bunch of trees to do this, so we can obviously export those, which makes my life a little bit easier. I get a bit of money out of that. And I think since we have a little bit of money right now, I'm actually going to go into utilities, and I'm going to get one of these capacitor max plus things, just because this thing's starting to get overloaded. So let's spend, let's spend 4,000 just to make sure that that power station is doing okay. Oh, you've got to be kidding me! How did we just kill someone? There's also a prisoner over here that's decided that he's gonna... Oh my god. Can we deal with this guy? You've got to be... How did we kill someone already? Oh my god. All right. Well, we managed to detain this one, which I guess is fine. Oh, this one's ex-law enforcement. That's probably why. That's probably why. He needs to go to solitary. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, I can't believe we just managed to kill one of the prisoners already. That didn't take long at all. That really did not take long at all. What do we need to do with you then? So you're in solitary. Do we? Yeah, we have 1 awaiting solitary confinement and 1 dead body. So I need to build solitary confinement now. You've got to be kidding me. Ah, okay. You know what? Let me. I can't believe that. I really can't. Let me dismantle that window, and let me dismantle that window, just because they're going to be looking into other cells and things anyway. Let me figure something out here. So this space here is 5 by 6. So we want to do a little 5 by 6 thing here. We then want to do a little corridor space, something like this, and that'll be fine. We'll take out these walls, take out those walls. I'm going to take out these walls, and actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep that wall there, but I'm going to do this, and this is going to let me create solitary confinement, is what it's going to let me do. So we would do a door here and here. This bit of wall would go away, and this kind of replicates the little thing that we have over here with the utility closet. So this will be fine, and then we can just do more cells and like hallways down this way when we get around to it. So yeah, this is a whole thing. But we are, in fact, going to have to build some solitary confinement because apparently my prisoners can't get along with each other because one of them's ex-law enforcement, which, I mean, fair enough, I guess. It is worth mentioning the one that died, who was it? It was Taylor. Wasn't killed by another prisoner. He got into a fight with the ex-law enforcement one, with Bolton, and basically ran away. And one of my guards chased him down and just, you know, bonk over the head with a stick. And that was the end of it. That was, that's all she wrote. That's how that went. So that's, it was just unexpected. Just really, really unexpected. I wasn't expecting anyone to, what do you mean they lack basic literacy skills? What do you want me to do about that? Does this look like a school? I know when I was a kid, I felt like school was a prison, but I didn't get hit over the head by guards chasing me down. I was the generation after that was allowed in schools, right? I kind of got into school right around the time that they stopped beating children with sticks. I'm laughing because it's absurd, not because it's funny. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Moving swiftly on from that particular conversation. We do have some extra dormitories in here. Let me go ahead and get everything hooked up, get the utilities into all of this space. We'll bring these pipes along here as well because we can. We'll do something like this and this. We'll do this and this as well. We'll just get all of the pipes in here ahead of time so that everything's good. We can do our hot water pipes as well, which need to go to the, oh man, what's the layout that we're going for in this? It's a little bit of a mess, I think. It's kind of hard to tell what this is supposed to be. I think this needs to go, does this need to go one higher? It's really, really hard to tell. You know what? We'll wait for the radiators to go in there because I'm noticing that it doesn't seem like we've actually copied the radiators into these cells, which is slightly annoying. And then coming back down here, let's go ahead and figure out our solitary confinement setup. So we'll do a wall here, we'll do a wall here. We can go to doors and we can get some solitary doors, which are gonna be 500 each, which is just ridiculous, but it's fine. We can go to our objects, or rather we can go to rooms and get ourselves a padded solitary cell. Huh. I don't know that we need that. I think just the regular one is probably fine. And then that has to be surrounded, which we will be doing. And I think I'm just gonna put a toilet in there so they're not peeing on the floor. Oh, I think that might be the last brick we need for these two dormitories. It absolutely is, which completes that grant. We can now have up to 16 prisoners in here, which is just fantastic news. But I sort of want to figure some things out before we start bringing a bunch more prisoners in here, because we do now have logistics, which means I can grade spaces for the different levels of prisoners. So apparently these are unsecure, which is really interesting. That's not entirely true. I think they just haven't really updated. Cell status. Can I don't know how this works. This shows me cells that are occupied in orange, gang in red, or vacant in green. I guess that only works for cells and not dormitories. That's fine, I suppose. This is linking deliveries. This is linking transport. This shows us room quality, which is pretty bad. That's yeah, fair enough. I guess that's not exactly ideal, but it's fine. Labor management. Right click this. What does this do? Labor management kitchen regime. Okay, I have no idea. I think this is the highest security level that can work in that kitchen. That's fine. That's good to know. We don't have prison labor yet, which is honestly okay. What I would like to do is probably, can I, So deployment, assign staff to areas of your prison. What I would like to do is essentially create spaces that are staff only. That's kind of my goal here. And I don't know if I can do that without researching more things. So I think we need security. I'm not sure if deployment lets me set staff only areas. I would assume that it does. Intelligence lets me train my guards to become better at tracking and recovering contraband. Unlocks contraband supply and demand reports. The contraband overlay lets me recruit prisoners as confidential informants. I don't know if we need that yet. I think we go for security. I think we go for deployment. I think that's probably fair enough. And we'll kind of see how that goes. I'm not really too interested in education right now. And I'm relatively sure nothing down here at the bottom is going to let me do what I want to do. Because what I want to do is designate some staff only areas, because I want to start making, I want to make a staff only kitchen. Well, I probably don't need a staff only kitchen, but I would like to make a staff only canteen because my staff are going to be wanting some food. They also need bathrooms as well. And they also want recreation. So if I was to go into this staff room right here, we could give them a chess table. We have got a TV. I'm going to give them some arcade cabinets. I think a couple of arcade cabinets right there will make them a little bit happier. We could get them some bathrooms while we're here. So if we look into planning, we go to walls, we can do, I want to say something like this for just a little set of staff only bathrooms. That seems That seems fine. That seems like it should work. So we'll go to foundations, we'll go to bricks, we will build this little bit, and we can go to rooms, or rather to walls and doors, and get ourselves a couple of, oh, I can't build them right there. That's fine. Once those trees are cleared out, we can put the, why? What do you want? Reform programs are key to prisoners successfully integrating into society. Some offenders will start successful new lives, while others, I don't remember what his voice was, while others fall back into old ones and reoffend. Reformed prisoners will bring an additional cash reward, but some prisoners who reoffend could return to your prison. Not only will you incur a fine for their failed rehabilitation, but they may also have picked up additional bad habits while on the outside. Okay, so we're going to try and reform some of the prisoners. I'm not too sure how well that's going to go, but we will try our best. That's all I can do. And that's all I'm going to do. Let's get these doors in here. I'm realizing I might have made these spaces a little bit too small, but we're going to find out. And hopefully that's not the case. I'm really hoping, really hoping that's not going to be the case. How is this going? Security's still a little bit of a ways away. That's fine. I think that one prisoner we had in solitary is... Why do we only have one prisoner? Has everybody escaped? I've actually got no idea. Who are you? Andy the man. It's probably Themin, but what happened to my other prisoners? What do we got here? Coverage, valuation, finance, reform. So, released prisoners. We haven't released any. Where did the rest of them go? Did they escape? And we killed one. I don't know what happened to the others. I've actually got no idea what happened to the rest of them. That's okay. Sure. We'll bring in more prisoners shortly. I want to get the needs of my staff sorted out first. So let me do some tiles in here. We'll make these bathrooms at least a little bit nicer because we can. I wanted to... These hexagonal tiles could be fun. I get fun is not really a word I want to use in the case of the the morgue. We'll do some concrete flooring in there, I guess. That'll be fine. Let me get some brick walls to divide these spaces. Let me get some toilets for there, and there. And then we'll just run some pipes into that space. I think we'll have to run a large pipe all the way up here, and then some small pipes to the toilets themselves. And hopefully that means that did I go for the hexagon? I guess I did. They look kind of cool. They look all right. Hopefully this works out, and hopefully this means that my staff can now go to the bathroom. That's the goal. Also, it looks like these trees are starting to get out of hand. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and dismantle as many of these trees as I can, just around the edges of the prison. And I think we're going to, at least in a couple of spaces here, probably just put down some gravel so that the trees don't get way too close to the prison. And you know what? Gravel is relatively cheap as well. So let's just do a little sort of double layer of gravel just around the outside of the buildings here. And like I said, that'll hold the trees back a little bit. This is sort of the one downside to the mutator that I'm using, which gives me the super rapid tree growth. Like I said, I'm trying to avoid using it too much. I don't want to make things far too easy. It does make things a little bit easier, but I am trying to use it really only as a last resort, only if I totally screw things up. So for the most part, I'm not really looking to put too many trees around all of these spaces. So we'll go ahead and do a little something like this and a little something like this. And that might take a second to put all of that gravel in there, but it will hopefully mean that the trees are just held back from the walls a little bit. Now, looking into bureaucracy, we do have security. So I would like to get deployment, which requires a chief. So we'll go into staff, we'll get ourselves a chief, who looks kind of fantastic. I'm gonna be honest, he looks pretty good. And then with deployment approved and researched, I can now go down here. And can I set areas as staff only? I totally can. So these little spaces here are staff only. This is staff only. This is obviously all staff only as well. The morgue is staff only. These areas down here are exactly the same. And that should be fine. The kitchens are going to be staff only as well. And that should mean that, yes, we do now have staff going up to use the bathrooms. We actually had 2 of them in that one bathroom. You know what? I don't judge. I'm not going to judge. At the very least, they are going to be a little bit happier. They can now go to the bathroom. The only thing they're missing is some food. And I suppose, I don't know how much further I'm going to build up this way. I guess we could do like a staff canteen in this space here. So let's do some kind of building right about there. Let me go and get the gravel and just run it around the outsides of this guy, the way we've done with everything else. And then I suppose we can go to objects, or rather we can go to walls and doors. We can get some staff double doors and put them right there. And that's going to be an entrance to our staff canteen once it's up and running. Now, I suppose since we do now have deployment, I want to go ahead and actually put another jail door. I want one of the large jail doors for here. That's going to help me out just a little bit. And once that's installed, in fact, even now that it's not, so we have this deployment scheduler. There's a lot of things we can do here. We are going to do minimum security only for all of these spaces, because that's essentially what this entire area is. It's kind of a minimum security prison space. This is minimum security. That's minimum security. This is, let's see, staff only is here. The yard is minimum security as well. I guess this is all technically minimum security. We don't really need to worry about this entranceway. It's just gonna be shared, and I'm kind of okay with that. But what I would like to do is just assign some guards. So we kind of need to figure out what our general schedule is. And I'm pretty sure, is it regime? It is regime. So this is where we basically say what the prisoners are doing. So they're going to be sleeping from 11 until 6, which is fine by me. I want them to get up and basically instantly shower. I think that's fine. I think we then let them, I want to say they can go back to lockup sort of afterwards. I don't want to split the schedule. I want to do the same the entire thing. So it's mandatory shower. If you don't need the 2 hours, you go back to lockup. And then it's mandatory breakfast. If you don't need the 2 hours, you go back to lockup. Then we'll sort of give you work and free time for a bit. Maybe a bit of mandatory yard time, actually, after all. Maybe free time, then yard time. Because we don't have work right now. So we'll give them some free time. Then we'll give them some yard time. We'll give them a couple of hours of yard time. Then maybe more free time, I guess. That seems fine, just throughout the entire day. Then you can eat and again go to lockup. We want lockup before they go to bed, and that seems fine. We will eventually change this because we will have them working at some stage, but this for now seems all right. And I guess the way we want to do this is have deployment based on the different times. So at 11, we want them from 11 until 6 so it's up to 7 actually. So basically all that green space is when they're sleeping. Number 2 is when they're in the shower. Number 3 is when they're eating, which is all of this space. And then after, so we want to do free time as well, which is here and then all of this. So they have a lot of free time, which is okay. Then in here is the mandatory yard time. And then we have lockup, which I want to say lockup can be the same as the sleep time, because lockup is when they go back to the cells. So basically, for all of these different schedules, we want to make sure the guards are in the right place. Now, we will have to hire more guards, but what I want to do, I think before I start moving things around, is get this, I want to get this door installed here, because then I can assign guards to this hallway. Now, I could go ahead and unlock patrols and just have them move up and down the hallway that way, but assigning them to this space for now is probably the easiest way to handle that. So we'll just wait for the door to get installed wherever it happens to be. I really have no idea, but we'll wait for it to be installed and then we'll put a guard in that hallway. And there we go. Okay, so now that that's installed, I actually want to pause for a second because we're getting a little bit close to when we would usually bring inmates in here, and we might have an opportunity to bring a few more into this space. So what we'll do is make sure this is all still set as the same security level as it was. If we now look at assigning guards, so at this time we want 2 guards in this space because that's going to be where all of the prisoners are. Then I also need to bring up our plan. We will want for shower time, probably 2 guards in here as well, and also 2 guards over here. So we will need 4 guards minimum, and that'll be fine. Then they go back to lockup if they're not doing that. When it comes to the blue thing here, we want to go and say that we have probably 3 guards in the canteen just to be safe, and then 1 back here just to kind of monitor anyone that goes back to lockup. And then we move into free time, which is slightly tricky. So we'll do a guard here, a guard here. We'll do 2 in the yard, maybe 1 in the showers just to be safe because they might go shower. So we'll sort of spread the guards out a little bit. 4 guards might not be enough for everything, but I'm going to take this chance. Then we have yard time, where I'm going to say we put maybe 3 in the yard, 1 kind of patrolling around a little bit. We move back into our free time schedule, which sort of spreads the guards out a little bit, back into the eating schedule, and then back into the sleeping schedule. That should be fine, I think. I want to say that's fine. Prioritize area janitor. So this is... Does this let me tell janitors to prioritize certain areas at certain times? Would that be kind of, I guess it maybe does. I don't think I need to do that right now, but that is very cool that that's a thing you can do. Anyway, I guess we go ahead and get ourselves some more guards. We'll go 1, 2, and you know what? I'm going to go 3, just so that we always have 1 guard that's not assigned to do anything. That way they can kind of move around, they can kind of get doors, they can move prisoners, do whatever they need to do. And I guess since it's an hour until we have intake, we probably want to bring some prisoners in, but I would like to look at the grants and see what my options are. So we have cell block B, which is get the capacity up to 50. I don't think I'm going to be trying to do that just yet, if I'm completely honest with you. This is reduce the average reoffending rate to 30%. Okay. Achieve 100 reformed prisoners after release. I am willing to give that a shot. I think I'm willing to give that a shot. We'll do this one as well, just to see how it goes. That gives me a ton of money to play with, which I'm very, very happy with, and I'm looking forward to playing with all of that money. But I think what we do is we go to intake. We're aiming for 4 prisoners right now. I'm gonna aim for 12. So that we fill 6 of these dormitories, just so we don't overdo it. We'll have 12 prisoners coming in. Well, actually 11 prisoners coming in here at 8 in the morning, which is going to be fine. We do sort of need to finish building this space because I would really like my staff to have a canteen a little bit sooner than later. So hopefully we can do that. We can also get the gravel around all of this place at some point. But we should, once this boat leaves, we should have, wait, do we, oh no, we are going to fill it to 12, we're okay. Yeah, once this boat leaves, we should have some prisoners coming in here. I want to say, yeah, there we go, and there they are. Okay. This is kind of a big deal. This is kind of a big deal. So who have we got? We've got Dylan. Okay, counterfeiting currency, my man. Richard Bennett, blackmail. We've got Bo here, share Bo, pickpocketing. We've got Beswick, shoplifting. We've got Welch, counterfeiting currency. We've got Hornybrook for criminal damage. We have Hill for insider trading. Crouch for counterfeiting currency. We have Van Tilburg for pickpocketing, low key for shoplifting, and Nixon will go for that with possession with intent to supply. They all have year-long sentences because, again, we have got the reduced numbers on this, which is totally fine. We have that one guard letting everybody in, which is also totally fine. That one guard is unfortunately going to be likely tasked with searching everybody. We might need more guards, but we'll be all right. Is this built? It absolutely is. Okay. Let me get my hands on a canteen and put it there. Let me go to deployment and say that that is staff only. So it's now a staff canteen, which means I can get my hands on one of the small serving tables because I don't think we need a big one. I don't know if we can even fit one of the big ones in here, to be totally honest with you. Can I do tray dispensers? Used to store spare food trays. Do I need... I could do a recycling bin in there as well. Can I put a snack machine in here? I totally can. Okay. Let me do a small serving table. Let me do a snack machine and a recycling bin. Let me do a recycling bin down here as well. I don't know if we need that, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then for the rest of the space, I really don't know if we need food trays. I'm just going to do some dining tables. We're not going to have that many of them, unfortunately. Wait, we can do dinner booths? Oh my God, those look amazing. Yeah, hold on a second. Hold. Hold on a minute. How expensive are they? They are, you know what? I don't care. They look amazing. So we're doing some diner booths right there for the staff canteen, and that's kind of great. I'm all in on that. That's absolutely fantastic. We'll get some lights in there. We'll make sure this place is up and running, hopefully in no time at all. And that should contribute to keeping my staff really, really happy, which is what we want to do. So the sooner we get this thing built, the better. That will, like I said, keep my staff nice and happy. We're also doing a pretty good job with the gravel around the edges of the prison. It's not really holding the trees back as much as I would like, but that's okay. We can figure that out. Oh, and there we go. They're using the diner booths. That looks kind of fantastic. We have got some food in here as well. And that should mean that all of my staff's needs are being covered. If we look at our prisoners, they're well fed. They are really wanting privacy and spirituality and literature, but for the most part, they're doing fine. You know, I think we might want to do a little bit of decoration here. I also think we might want to get another guard. I think 6 guards might be necessary because I'm noticing that there's a lot of prisoners in here that still haven't been moved to their cells and let out of handcuffs, which is really not a good thing, especially since they all just missed dinner. But you know what? I'm sure that won't be a problem, right? I'm sure that'll be fine. I can't see anything going wrong with the fact that we're gonna have some grumpy prisoners that are really hungry going to bed. But I think since we do have some money, let's go ahead and get a nice checkered floor into the staff canteen. Let's get some white tiles into the infirmary. Let's do... I do like wooden floors, but they're really expensive. The carpets are also kind of expensive, which I don't love. I might go for the cheaper mosaic floors for some of the hallways and corridors and things like that. Or I guess I could do the concrete tiles. They're quite cheap. Yeah, I think we do concrete tiles. Let's do this entire space with concrete tiles just around the outside here. I kind of like the lines as well. I think they look pretty cool. So something like this should be totally fine. I could do the lines in the middle if I wanted to, but I think outlining it is going to look a little bit better. And something I discovered about these tiles is that when you rotate them a little bit further than I've done here, eventually you start getting those interior corners. So this entire space can be outlined with those guys. I think we just do the regular concrete tiles up and down the cell blocks. That's probably fine. We can go and do regular concrete tiles in here as well. And then for solitary, I'm kind of thinking we go for, let's see, limestone might be a bit expensive. Reclaimed rubber doesn't seem... Yeah, you know what? We'll go for reclaimed rubber. That actually kind of seems like it would make sense. We also have some reclaimed brick, which I'm going to be honest, I really like the look of. It might be kind of cool to do like reclaimed brick out here, but I don't know if we need to do that right now. That might be a little bit unnecessary. We'll do some concrete tiles just under these doors here as well, so everything sort of carries through. For the, I guess the canteen can just be white tiles as well. The kitchen, I want to say, is also, you know what? The kitchen can have a checkered floor just because it's a kitchen. Why not? We might as well have a checkered floor. The staff room, I think wooden floor, even though it's kind of expensive. And then for the offices, again, it's kind of expensive, but I'm thinking carpets. Now we do have blue, brown, and red. So let's do blue there and blue in here. We can do brown in the middle ones just because that seems fine. And then red carpet in these ones at the ends. Again, that seems fine. And I guess, I don't know, wooden floors through here kind of makes sense as far as I'm concerned. So as expensive as it might be, I think we go for the wooden floors. And then I guess when it comes to the cells themselves, we can just go for the mosaic floors. I think that'll look pretty solid throughout these spaces. We'll do concrete tiles just under these cells here because of the way the door is. The tiles will be sort of underneath it, I suppose, and that should look all right. That is going to be a lot of work for all of my workmen, but they seem to be doing a pretty good job with it. I don't necessarily love the brown carpet, but that's all right. I think the wooden floors look pretty good. And the only thing we're missing is something for this utility space, which I'm also thinking could probably double up as a bit of a room here because we can do storage. So I think just because we have this space, I'm going to just sort of create this storage area. It's a little weird looking. In fact, you know what? Can I just do... I could just do this entire thing as storage if I wanted to, which seems odd to do. I think we'll get rid of that part and maybe just have storage there. Again, it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit weird. It is a little weird just having it there, but yeah, we'll do some storage in that spot, I guess. We'll take out that part as well. And then for flooring, I suppose, I mean, the metal floor kind of makes sense. The ceramic floor would kind of be interesting. I guess we could go for like wooden docks or iron floors as well. I think we'll just go for the metal since it's kind of relatively cheap in here. We'll do wooden floor underneath that door just so it all connects together. And you know, I think this place has, I mean, the prisoners look a bit untidy, but I think for the most part, this place is coming together kind of nicely. I suppose what we can do is bring ourselves up to 16 prisoners so that we kind of fill up the dormitories that we have. And I'm actually pretty pleased with this. I think it's coming together pretty well. It doesn't look like it's not perfectly symmetrical, which is what we do have some symmetry in here, but I'm quite pleased with this. And there we go. We have 16 prisoners in here. They have a drug problem. We'll figure that out. That'll be okay. We got ourselves all of our staff needs sorted out. We got our staff room up and running with some arcade cabinets as well, of course. We got the bathrooms. We got the infirmary and the morgue. I'm really pleased with this. I think this is a pretty solid start for the prison so far. We do obviously have to expand further. We do obviously have to make ourselves cells a little bit better. And we probably want to start looking into how exactly we're going to split everything up once it comes to getting different levels of security in here. Now, something we can do, I'm pretty sure, is get different, we can get like ferries between different islands. So it is possible to maybe put maximum security on one island, death row on another, but that's a thing for way down the line. For the time being, for right now, I think we're going to leave it there. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.